AA very nervous because he's going to get hunted down by the Clockwork. Like, I think this top lane is going to be fine. I think this bot lane is going to be fine. Conditions, in my opinion, for Saiyan to please play at least like a fast transition out of the laning stage. Like, you need your Death Prophet to get that 6. You need your carry to be able to come rotate for that tower take, that sort of thing. Like, the conditions are there for them to have a game, which is the most important thing. If I look at these matchups between like an expectedly vastly superior team and a smaller name, right? I always look at, all right, are they at the very least going to get to like a point in the mid game where it's down to the quality of what you know instead of just like, okay, did we lose the lanes outright? Like, I think Saiyan's lanes are in a good place. They can have a game, which is about as good as you can have like here. Like, it's been my philosophy for all the way back to like Vegas modern days. Like, all right, you know, we just got stomped. Let's not focus on winning for the next draft. Let's focus on getting to play for the next draft. And they hit that condition. They're going to get to play.
Yeah, certainly a draft that can make things happen. I also like seeing when teams have not just an ability to make plays on the map, but an ability to get real estate when they are in a favorable position. And this time around, we do see them having the Sun Goku Death Prophet in the offlane. So when they start winning fights, if and when that happens, they can still transition into building damage. That is the one thing that is somewhat lacking on the side of Aster.Aries. They don't have a natural tower hitter, but they've got multiple tower sieges, so they might not require the out-and-out damage. And of course, you know, I was talking to you about these Brewmasters in China. There's a player on CDC, Xiang Yu, who managed to play a Brewmaster, and he actually literally got Megas alone. Like, he sieged an entire base by himself on Brewmaster. He had like Ags, Refresher, Shard. It was ridiculous. It was beautiful, honestly. It was the best thing in the world.
That sounds phenomenal. I might go look that up later. Get a little high five on top lane. Yeah, this Clockwork's going to be bullying the AA throughout this game. That's his job description.
Feels bad to be Red Panda, and the bullying starts now. Gonna be eating that level 1 rocket battery assault. Nothing we can do about that. Just want to make space for Sun Goku. And Ulu does have Concoction level 1. I've been seeing a lot more like Acid Spray level 1 over and above Concoction, so kind of intriguing that he decided to go for this. But he'll get to level 2 in decent enough time that won't make too much of a difference, I don't think.
Yeah, like, I think you get that just because you have the possibility of killing a Death Prophet on level 1 if she does something weird, because you can take the Chilling Touch in this lane, or sorry, the Cold Feet in this lane, but don't think that quite ended up how he thought it would. So yeah, not a lot of use for the Concoction.
Let's see how all of this is gonna go. Red Panda, him and the crew, they are out here just doing their thing. They're trying to secure a positive lane for Ulu in the top side of the map. Middle, we spoke somewhat about this matchup. The Ember into the Razor. Razor should be winning this one pretty comfortably. I don't think that Ember has any kind of opportunity to do too much to him, but at the same time, you don't get completely bullied out of the lane either as the Ember, so you should still get your own farm as well without too much complication.
Yeah. Like, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, but at the very least, he has no way to take off your Flame Guard, so as long as you're willing to tank that damage, you just shove the wave with Flame Guard, then run away every single time you get linked. Like, it's okay.
And there's the link. The leash is starting. How much damage taken away? Easy 66. Nicely done. Literally dealing -2 damage right now. Good times. Seems fair and balanced to me.
Yeah, but you get roughly 1 Flame Guard per wave, so it's fine. That 5 seconds off is very awkward, but that's very deliberate. That's one of those decisions where you know that, well,
Red Panda. We were talking about it. They got the Cold Feet. Level 2 came around for Red Panda and Ulu, and they managed to throw in the Unstable Concoction with Cold Feet. They freeze up the Clockwork and kill him. Alright, who got the gold as well? It's Red Panda that gets the gold. It would have been nice if it was Ulu, but nonetheless, that is a phenomenal way to start this lane. And, you know, this is the shove wave. And if you're in a situation where this Clockwork can't actually get forward to bully the Ancient Apparition, you're starting to feel very, very sad as this Clock losing out on experience, not getting to the point where you can threaten the AA later in the game. You kind of need this lane to go well for you as the Clockwork, otherwise you have a very poor game going forward.
Yep. And that's why he's dragging the wave here as well, because his Death Prophet can't shove quite hard enough to get that wave under tower, which is where you get the bouncing effect that's going to allow you to get near that AA. So he's grabbing that wave. I'm going to be pushing it back. A lot of damage dealt though, and they're going again.
Yep, they're going to try and make this move. Unfortunately, the Ulu could not channel the concoction for long enough to generate a viable threat, so we'll just end up throwing it out, send the clockwork back. Let's see, Clock is getting closer towards getting the soul ring. Can he kill this courier? This is a ring of Batsy. It's a pretty big deal if he got to it, but he doesn't, and he might end up costing his own life here. Red Panda's gonna try and bait using this young courier, but the clockwork not gonna fall for it. Will end up just walking away and keeping his own life.
Yep. And this is an interesting kind of stalemate, right? Because Son Goku is fine with the lane being like this. Like, he's getting everything he wants. It's just that his clockwork is feeling so useless right now, as he's walking mid. He's been seen by one ward. It's gonna get spotted by the next here. Yeah. Just room control, because his death proc is fine. But, you know, he's just not getting any.
Well, you're just like, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life. What's going on here? So... oh well, he's just doing his thing. Very quiet early game so far. Bottom though might have some action going onto this Brewmaster. We mentioned some of these silences that can affect him. Bloodride is also one of them from MS. Almost got the kill onto him, but it is a Brewmaster, pretty damn tanky, so they were just zoning him back from the lane. Bottom is going as expected, which is boring as hell. It's hard to anticipate anything happening here. There's too much sustain on the Radiant side, too much tankability on Dire, so it's just going to be a farm trade pretty much at the end of the day.
Yeah, unless we get a really nasty toss back into tower or something of that like, but TK has not been able to get any angles on these heroes, so as long as he doesn't, yeah.
Kill onto the clockwork, but it might cost the life of Ulu here. Son Goku will be able to run him down with the Spirit Siphon. A 1-1 trade, but this trade super valuable for the side of this Team Saiyan as they've taken down this Alchemist. Okay, this is pretty good. I don't know how Alk actually got that low though in this lane. Doesn't feel like he should be that far forward that he's going to take that much damage. But Team Saiyan, they spot the weakness and they pounce, get the quick kill in the early game.
I like because he went for the medallion build-up, which is a rarity in my opinion. Like, I'm still used to seeing the soul ring. So I was like, oh, maybe he used soul ring and like got low off of that in the spam, but no. Oh, he's got medallion.
What do you think about this medallion build in general? Like, it's also atypical for me because I've just been seeing soul ring, BKBs, blinks every game. Does this change that particular build up afterwards, or what happens after the soul ring if you go for the medallion first?
Yeah, like my expectation here at the very least is that this is a kill build, and he might be going for stuff like early blink BKB. Percentage based stain. No.
But notice this Razor. Yeah, mid lane, they ended up bringing down the Razor. Rotation from both of the supports on the side of Team Saiyan. TK did come in from Aster.Aries to try and get some kind of counter kill, and he will be able to find it. Unfortunately though, it will cost him his own life. His zone immediately jumps back in on him, chases him underneath the tier 1 tower. Okay, global trades happening here. Team Saiyan end up losing Son Goku top lane, but they'd already claimed the life of Ulu, and they get the life middle of Yi. Things are starting to look pretty decent here if you're Team Saiyan. Getting some very important kills on the map. And more importantly, you haven't lost Ember nor the Bloodseeker on either side. And they're farming very, very well for the early game.
And this is kind of how I expected the lanes to go, with both of the side lanes doing so well. These supports get to rotate towards mid, and then they get to turn the favor there as well. So really, like, this is the kind of stuff that this team is dangling, I should say, at the bottom of Division 2, right? Like, these are not the kinds of heads-up plays they were going to see from a Division 2 team in basically any other region. Not the ones that are, you know, in the degradation spot, for sure. Their team play looks really tight up versus a much superior team, and I love it. These are tight calls.
One of the things that we used to see with Team Saiyan, though, is they'd have some decent lanes at times, but things would start to fall apart once the mid-game reached around, so we'll have to see if this continues once the laning phase itself breaks down completely. Speaking of lanes, top lane, TK has made a movement here on the Tiny. They want to try and get some kind of kill to ensure that Ulu is in as high a position as humanly possible. TK will now scout out the clockwork, and can they make this play happen? He's looking for the toss. There's the unstable concoction channeling. Gonna get thrown out. There's no cold feet though, so he's not gonna get kept in position for too much longer. Still will end up dying, but ghosts are popped by Son Goku as he's looking for immediate revenge. LWW coming through to assist with the Splinter Blast, and they will be able to ensure that we get a kill back on this Tiny. But the issue here, Kip, they pop ghosts for this. This is not worth it. Yeah.
Definitely not that the Razor comes top. Yeah, like if there's the two of you versus two enemies, you can stand and probably take some more damage, deal some more damage into the tower. But they sense that something is amiss. They're pretty sure that Razor is there. So yeah, the Death Prophet backs off, and that was the first EXO of the game. At least they got rotations out with it. But that tower stands very tall and very strong.
Razor. Is sitting with a double damage rune now. Didn't get anything from that rotation. And there's no real option of killing Zone at the moment. This Avalanche will hit him from TK, but they know nothing's up. It's a bit frustrating to get this rune. You know, sometimes you play Razor and you're like, man, really? Only a double damage? No haste or anything? Come on, yo. What's happening?
Haste. Arcane's actually also very good on Razor. Like, especially once you have the plasma field maxed, this man already farms up a storm. Pun very much intended. And that makes it even faster. And now this rotation here, this is... The attempt on top missed, right? And now the Death Prophet can't rotate with the EXO. But there is an ult on this Brewmaster, and Saiyan should 100% know that this is coming in some way, shape, or form soon. MS already all the way behind the tower.
MS is already gone. And Clockwork was face checking with himself through the tree line just to make sure that he breaks the smoke, because like you said, they had to be 100% aware of what's going to happen. And they end up just losing the Clockwork's life, but he's done his job. They will now trade these towers. With the double damage rune, this trade will go a little bit faster than on the top side of the map because they don't have Ghost. But ultimately, unless they want to come defend this, Aster.Aries are trying. They bring out this Brewmaster in the top lane. And yeah, they know that there's no Ghosts. They're not really afraid of anything at the moment, so why not make this rotation?
Exactly, there's Primal Split. Everybody already bailed from the bottom lane. The fact that the Bloodseeker showed there means that he teleported, so he can't go back to bottom to sneakily do the same and defend again. Saiyan showed their hand there. And now they get confronted with the exact same problem, which is the threat of the Brewmaster Primal Split. They didn't force it out bot. And now they have to back off again. They cannot teamfight this.
Brewmaster, what a hero.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about these heals in this game. Not only is Red Panda going to make their life difficult with Ice Blast, but look at this first item that the Brewmaster's going for. Immediately Spirit Vessel, not stopping over for anything. Raw Spirit Vessel with Trank Beats. Super tanky and going to be denying the opponent an opportunity to be tanky themselves. I like it. I like this option here coming in from our Brewmaster. I think Shang-Chi knows what's up. He knows exactly what he's doing this game.
Absolutely fantastic. Interesting, by the way, like, talking about item builds, like, the Alchemist went back for the Soul Ring on top of the Medallion.
Wait, what?
And now towards the Radiance, yeah. Like, and if this was, like, a physical lane matchup, I would have said I understand the Medallion because of the armor. And you're up first to range here, you're gonna take a lot of harass, and the mana regen is good for you, right? But it doesn't feel like... You're getting armor from the phase boots as well, right? And he delayed getting... phase to rush the Medallion. I don't know what's up with this. I'm gonna be just very honest. Like, if anybody knows, please tell me.
Our DMs are open, y'all. Let us know where this build comes from for the Alchemist as bottom. We see a fight happening. MS throughout the Rupture onto the Razor, manages to get out to safety because TK bought him the space and time with the triple hero Avalanche. Will give up his own life for this though, unfortunately. And okay, eventually. That took longer than it should have. Alright, they find that kill at bottom, and they're gonna smoke up immediately. They have access to the hook shot and they have Ghost. They wanna actually try and utilize them in this mid lane. They see that this Alchemist...
Your clock in front.
Okay, let's see. Oh, Ulu, he's triggered out the unstable concoction. They missed the hook though. Zone will be able to find the double hero searing chains, but L-Dub can't get close enough for the Winter's Curse. That was a little bit of a comedy of errors there, Kips. They should have found that kill onto the Alchemist, but they get outplayed.
Absolutely.
They kind of outplay themselves actually at that moment.
Yeah, because the Death Prophet is still too far in front, and the Clockwork has to aim the hook off to the side and hope that the hitbox hits, because otherwise he just hits his teammate.
Feels bad.
Feels bad.
Well, that is a waste of a perfectly good movement, but fortunately they did not pop the exorcism for that, so they'll still be able to move back to the top lane, but Aster.Aries is not going to let them relax. We actually still haven't seen the first activation of the Brew Split. And Shang-Chi is getting a bit antsy. He wants to reveal the Spirit Vessel and his ultimate simultaneously. And look who they come across. It's MS, but he's actually in a very good position. He's not going to get caught by this movement. And I think with Team Saiyan also having this Ember Spirit with a defensive remnant, presumably, he doesn't actually have one, but they don't know this, so they can't make the direct jump onto him just yet.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you get fed up with this, right? And you just put the Brewmaster on the tower. I think that's exactly what Shang-Chi is going to do here. You just have to be sure that you get what you want out of it and that you're ready to defend after, because, okay, no, Exo was spent on top. This would be, for me, a reason to force mid tower, but instead, Brewmaster rotating to see what he can find in the jungle.
This is what's why was trying to get out. Not going to be able to do so, though, as they catch up with TK and Yi. Finish off the kill there. I mean, it's something. I think Brewmaster, at those points, I think the idea was just, I need Spirit Vessel charges, boys. I don't care where I get them. Just let me get them, and it's fine. We'll go for the tower push at some point in the future. He does abandon sticking around middles, but he does have a TP, so he could respond to this if they do want to mount a full-throated defense against this push.
Yeah, and Aster.Aries are not in a hurry right now, so they're just hoping that Saiyan is going to go for this mid tower, overextend, you put the Brewmaster in the middle, you win.
We win! W, easy. So many smoke sets happening in this early game, and most of them haven't really connected with the desired result, but maybe this one will. Hookshot angle, not necessarily too kind, but this time the clockwork is leading. So we've had some adaptation here, kids. They've seen what's up. They're like, guide, man, you do the thing, but might be a little bit too late.
I love that you know why I'm giggling. Like the distance between the clockwork and the next person as well.
He's like, everybody step back. I'm the one that's going in. Unfortunately, it's Zone that ends up going to try and force the situation here. Okay, that was very, very intriguing. I really thought that was going to end up being a dead Ember Spirit. Does manage to survive, though. And Ulu on the other side in a situation where the Alchemist is still just going to be sticking around alive. Everything is quote-unquote fine.
There's a yeet out of the cogs.
Okay, good job happening. Clockwork. Taking quite a bit of damage. Will end up being the first one to die here. Big tree throw going forward. And there's the first Brewmaster split being committed. The DP is getting ran down right now. There is going to be the freeze happening on top of her. Ulu also throws in the unstable concoction. There's the damage. Alchemist has gotten himself a double kill. Now Winter Wyvern in quite a bit of danger herself. She is losing her life. She is going to be a triple for the Alchemist. And they're not done just yet because Zone tossed up into the air. Does have a defensive remnant, but it's not too defensive. He could still get caught here. TK has spotted him out, knows where he's at. There's the avalanche. It's gonna stop him in position. Gets tossed up. Well, not tossed just yet. It eventually happens. Will enable TK to find himself a kill there. 5-11 is the kill score. Man, amazing things coming out here from the side of Aster.Aries as they demolish this team fight, getting 4 kills in the process.
Very systematic, right? They're really just waiting for Saiyan to get out of position, and then they say, hi, you don't have damage. We also don't, but we're tankier than you. What you gonna do about it?
What are y'all gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah. So frustrating for Saiyan here, but they kind of made this bet, and now they're gonna have to line it. Like, there's going to be double BKB coming up. Actually, Son Goku as well as MS are going to have them at pretty much the same timing here, and pretty soon too. They're up first in Alchemist lineup, right? They're not that far behind. But the question is that since BKB is once again purely defensive, and it's these healing heroes that are trying to, you know, survive the AA, trying to survive Spirit Vessel, like, again, that it does not improve your damage. They're still going to have to throw 5 heroes at Ares and hope they get a fight where one of them is stuck on the other side of the map. I don't know.
Might happen itself, though.
This might
trying
work.
to jump onto the Razor, but they missed the hook shot. That's their main source of initiation and damage right now, so not going to be able to hold him in position. Zone not nearby enough to be able to throw in his lockdown. So they don't have a way to keep you in close to these ghosts, and they pop the ghost yet again here, Kips. It doesn't actually find them getting the W that they need in this fight. Tier 2 tower is not going to suffer any damage from this. Yet again, another wasted effort coming in from Team Saiyan. And this is kind of what I was afraid of. A decent enough laning phase, but once we get into this early mid game here, they're really struggling to connect the moves that they need to all across this map.
Yeah, and I think most of this is down to the draft, to be honest. Like, you're putting a lot on his Clockwork as a sole initiator, and then you don't really have any AoE teamfight ults apart from the Winter Wyvern, which is very hard to use offensively if you're not sure you have the staying power to stay in when the TPs come. Is this Brewmaster pick locked off so many options for Saiyan? They're constantly afraid that this big guy is gonna come in, press R, and make all of them sad. So they have to back off every single time. It's the right decision, but it starts feeling so impotent because now you're the one making yourself sad. Oh, I can't
Sadness
do
and
that.
sorrow. You're like, why is this happening to me? Just want to play Dota. Just want to enjoy my life. But
Yeah, I don't get to play.
nope. You don't get to play at all. Here's a smoke up from
Aries, though.
Aster.Aries. They get to play because they just got a blink dagger for TK here, so this would be a perfect time to reveal this. If they can catch LWW, and I think they have this vision, easy kill onto this Winter Wyvern. More Spirit Vessel charges, but the smoke was popped by Shang-Chi. TK though still wants to go and reveal this, and there's the blink, but oh no, Shang-Chi gave up too soon. So they can't find the toss back. TK gonna be very disappointed by this, but they should still have enough vision. No, they don't. The Arctic Burn gets him clear into the back. All right, well done here. Good escape happening from this bottom side of the map for the Winter Wyvern and getting them to reveal the Blink Dagger without getting a kill for themselves. Okay, that's pretty decent footwork coming in from Dub.
It's a win. It's a small win, but you take those, especially when you're trying to get space to finish something on top of this double BKB. But they do have that now, so Aries does need to be careful. You don't get to rely on your AA to burst either the Death Prophet or the Bloodseeker right now. And there's the hook shot.
Nice hook shot into TK. Will they be able to bring him down quickly enough? They're trying to. He does end up tossing back the clockwork into his team, allowing them to kill the clock. Huge amount of damage. However, Zone finally throws in the Sleight of Fist. And with the Chilling Touch, they're going to be able to find a kill onto TK. 1-1 trade between the two forces here, but I don't think the fight is over just yet. They have a Brewmaster split available for Shang-Chi, thinking about using it, but the rest of the team will sound the retreat and they'll get back. I mean, it's something. You get a kill onto this Tiny. You still deny them from being able to activate this Blink Dagger. And more importantly, you still keep your tier 1 tower alive here, giving you more map control that you wouldn't have had otherwise if you lost that fight.
Absolutely. No BKBs popped yet either. That's another trade of resource here. And this is all about the small details, right? I kind of love this game because the differences are pretty small if you don't really think about them. Like, sure, it's a couple of missed hook shots, but the Tiny missed a couple of blinks, right? Like, you know, if even one BKB gets popped there, I'm pretty sure we'd see Aster.Aries go in right now.
Good discipline from Team Saiyan to not only pop their BKBs, but stay disciplined enough in the fight that they want to finish the next BKB for Zone. Then at that point, they'll have the triple top lane though. They get a hook shot out into Red Panda. The bully job is finally on again. Unfortunately, he does have some allies here from the Razor. They've gotten the kill onto the Red Panda AA. Will cost the life though of this Clockwork as Shang-Chi shows up with the Spirit Vessel. Double damage rune was triggered on the Razor as well for that fight. And that is just yet another 1-1 trade. And this is not a great feeling when you're a Clockwork, when the only time you're getting kills is when you're also losing your life. Sure, you're meant to put your body on the line, but you'd like to survive at least one of these engagements, get a bit more gold for yourself.
Exactly, like, sure, you're supposed to be sort of a suicide bomber, but that's supposed to create an opening, and whoever he's been finding just has not been an opening.
It's been a trap.
I mean, they need this Brewmaster. If they kill the Brew, Saiyan are gonna put the pedal to the metal and grab everything they can get their hands on, but I wonder if they hook him if they even get to kill him. I kinda doubt it.
I would be surprised, because this Brewmaster is getting pretty damn tanky. About to finish the Aghanim Scepter, already has a Spirit Vessel going. There's a smoke play going middle. Oh, Zone might be the target here. Ulu jumps on him with the Unstable Concoction. Can TK follow this up? He can, but the Winter Wyvern from LW even better. Trapping Ulu in position. Goku finally gets Ghost out with some damage onto the enemy team. They've been held in position. They've killed TK, and now they want to try and go for more. MS finding the Rupture out onto Ulu and the gang, as Ulu's BKB will now expire. He's getting chased in. Red Panda drops the Ice Blast, but there's a BKB from MS, so it denies all the damage. Double killed on the backlines from our Razor, who's just been going ham on the fight, taking out both supports, now running forward with the Eye of the Storm and the BKB, dealing so much damage. He wants Son Goku, but it will cost his own life as MS also runs him down. 3 for 3 now in all directions. Okay, this has been an interesting fight, but it's Team Saiyan with 2 cores still alive at the end that walk away victorious. Somehow, some way, Kips, they managed to make sure that they deny Team Aster anything in this fight.
Yeah, and with the staggering of the BKBs there, I don't think that Shang-Chi actually wanted to pop his ult at any point. You could see him thinking about it, but first his death probably is like, nah, I'm not gonna pop it because I can't stop her. And then after that, she backs off. It's MS going in, and he's like, well, why would I pop it? I can't stop him. And that leads two of his cores to die because the Brewmaster just contributing nothing to that fight.
Still hasn't actually been able to utilize the split, and unfortunately, in that fight, he also dropped all of his Spirit Vessel charges, so he's left with nothing at the moment. Fortunately, though, he might be a bit more liberal with the usage of the Brewmaster ultimate now that he has picked up the Aghanim Scepter. We'll see what they want to do with this around this mid lane. And they're still trying to force this one in. They don't have a wave with them at the moment, but Ulu is just like, whatever, guys. We've been fighting around this area for literally the last 5 minutes. It's time to get rid of it once and for all.
Finally. Haha. And we haven't really had the time to talk about it, but this is the point in the game where I'd normally expect the medallion to come in, right? That used to be an Alk build where you go your farming item into immediate blink medallion and then solar crest for a super hard fighting power spike on an alchemist. So by now his build is regular again.
If you live long enough, everything becomes meta. What's he going for next year? AC, so he's opting for the usual build here, like you mentioned, Blink, BKB, after the Rads, and then he's just picked up the Basher. They have to be out of smokes on the side of Aster.Aries, right? Let's see, Red Panda does not have one. Is there one flying in on the courier? No. So they have to now, if they want to find a fight, do it the old-fashioned way. How many dips just smoke way too often, like in this game?
Yeah, like both of them have been relatively unsuccessful too.
To be fair, this is only the opening tie here in the ESL One Malaysia qualifiers. Still have a long road ahead of you. Only one team comes out of these qualifiers to go to the main tournament. So you have a little bit of nerves about the situation. Somewhat understandable. However, right now, both teams still in the upper bracket, so still have some room for mistakes. And speaking of interesting things that are happening, what do you make of this build from the Razor? Yi has decided to go in for SNY before the refresher after picking up his BKB. What do you make of this? Do you like it in this kind of game?
A little on the greedy side, like I accept that you want to stack movement speed in this one here, but I'd rather just see the refresher and stand your ground, because an AC is coming up on your Alp. You're going to have that extra armor to work with.
Right, happening on the other side of the map though. TK going to be the first one caught out by this. Running himself away from the Blood Rise. It will not trigger onto him, the Razor. Also just standing ground with the Eye of the Storm. Hasn't popped BKB just yet, but will tank a Rupture. They want to try and bring him down super early. And that's sieging into him. Will he have the right-click damage to kill him? Yes, he will. That's one down so far. Those have also been popped by Son Goku and his own BKB. Shang-Chi finally using the Brewmaster Split in this fight. Ulu throws out the concoction at the very last second. Almost stunned himself, but did manage to stay alive. But they just don't have the presence in this fight. They can't fight through these BKBs and this Exorcism. And now you see Shang-Chi, he's back in his regular form. He's silenced up, he's getting killed. He will end up dying here. That's 2 heroes brought down, 2 cores taken away. Red Panda will TP out in front of the tower. Will be able to get out. Blood Ride from MS not there in time. But yet again, we see a fight here, Kips, where you're talking about the staggered usages of these BKBs, and they come in vogue once more for Team Saiyan, enabling them not just to take the very strong fight, but they're going to get rewarded with the tier 1 tower middle now as well.
Yep, there was barely any overlap between those 3 BKBs. Like, I think the Ember and the DP had theirs on together for a while, but oh, this is what happens though. Your BKB is out, you're dead.
Oh no, no BKB. They have Tiny Blink. They have Alchemist Blink. They have a kill threat on you, so they'll be able to find and bring you down.
Yeah. And this is incredible. Aster.Aries has lost 2 fights in a row now, and yet they were the ones who took the mid tower, and their mid tower is still alive on a sliver.
Dota2, wonderful and interesting games. LWW certainly not enjoying his Dota right now. He's thrown back and killed. Well, now we have the medallion for this Roshan attempt. Seems good. Ulu knows what's up. Oh, it looks like he sold the medallion. Doesn't have it in his inventory anymore.
What was it for?
Somebody said, mate, what happened? Maybe he just missed it. No, these things happen.
Yeah. I am so baffled. I'm gonna ask somebody about this after the game. Maybe I can like DM Ponlo, get his wisdom, because I'm so confused.
Roche will go down. Clockwork gonna go down soon as well. Well, unless he gets a very pop TP out. What a player! He's out. He's cool. He's got this.
Yeah, like cold feet can't catch me. I am a full screen away. Oh yeah.
So this Clockwork, his game has gotten a little bit harder now because TK just finished off a 4-star back home, and a 4-star is obviously being built for this apparition as well. Not too far away from it, I wouldn't imagine. So some of these big plays that he's been able to make with the hooks are soon gonna stop being possible. So because of that fact, do they need to just keep the tempo up on the side of Team Saiyan? Force as many fights as possible right now? Oh, what? Never mind. Double 4-stars out. Never mind.
Yeah. No, and I mean, you can't really do that, right? Because you're so reliant on your BKBs. Again, outside of the BKBs, we've seen that they just get bursted. I don't think they can team fight versus the Brewmaster, so... No, and there's... Oh, another hook shot. Beautiful.
Catches Red Panda, but he does get the 4-star out in that situation. Ice Blast will come in as well. Clockwork will end up dying. Red Panda is in a dangerous position because he will die to the MS Blood Ride. But here's some counterplay potential, maybe from Shang-Chi. Winter Wyvern comes in with the curse though onto Razor, conniving a lot of lockdown onto him, and MS will follow up that lockdown with right-click damage, and they are able to get the Razor kill. Ulu now in a whole host of danger, although him and Shang-Chi will surround the Death Prophet and start beating her down, but the BKB is about to expire, so the Spirit Siphon gonna do so much work here. Son Goku's still in danger though. Spirit Vessel on top of him. He needs some assistance. Zone will help to provide it, as well as MS, who comes in with the Rupture. Zone will not be able to save Son Goku, but they might be able to avenge him as they chase down Ulu and kill him. All 4 heroes have gone now from Aster.Aries, leaving the Brewmaster all by his lonesome. I think he's strong enough to be able to get away from this one. But what a fight yet again for Team Saiyan. They come away with a huge advantage out of that. That's so nice.
Beautiful curse, and I'm really impressed by how they're managing to pull these team fights out of their pocket. Like, this Bloodseeker is absolutely refusing to pop his BKB until it's absolutely necessary. And it's almost like they have agreed on an order in which to do it. Like, the Death Prophet's gonna go first, then the Ember. And, you know, if the Bloodseeker needs to, he can, but, you know, he had a Linken's, and that's great protection in this game, usually.
Linken Sphere, BKB, Agnum shot for himself, and because he doesn't have to suffer the indignity of being hit by the Vessel or by the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, suddenly all this damage is coming out way too fast for Aries to deal with. Bloodseeker, you know you're in a good position when you are second in net worth, only behind an Alchemist, and the Alchemist is only 1,000 gold ahead of you. You feel very, very positive, and now throws in a Rupture down bottom, just to zone back Shang-Chi. He knows he can't realistically kill him. Doesn't have a bash or anything to even try cancel out the TP. So lets him get away, but this game just overall looking so good right now for Team Saiyan as top. They might force Z into an awkward position. Does have BKB, but they don't want to jump him. Clockwork might have been thinking about it, but they realized that all that would do is put Clockwork in danger rather than the Razor, so they just let him go.
And remarkably enough, once again, no building damage done by Saiyan off of the back of another one fight again. And this is one of the reasons that this game is actually so slow. It's because they haven't been able to take any objectives after they win these fights. But am I going to say that that puts them in a bad position? I don't know. If they keep on out-executing like this, they can win the next fight too. The BKBs are going to get shorter though. This is an issue that's building slowly in the background.
This is certainly an issue that they have to remain cognizant of all throughout this game. One thing that is encouraging though for the side of Team Saiyan is that Aster.Aries do not have a drastic source of push themselves. So it's not a situation where you're, well, at least until they get like the Aghanim Scepter for the Razor. Until then you are still relatively okay with the current game state. But you still want to do something with your next item spikes. Let's see what items are coming soon though. Scotty being built by the Bloodseeker. We've got a Lotus Orb shot for Son Goku. What's Zone got coming up for himself? He's also going for the Linken's here. Alright, so we're going to have the double Linken's. So Winter Wyvern is going to have a much easier game. Brewmaster a much harder game. And these heroes can just run headlong, tank up a couple spells, create a space and opening on the backlines for the Winter Wyvern. Mid lane though, they get a big jump onto the Brewmaster, and this is what they needed. He doesn't have any way to dispel the silence. And the hook shot finally from Clockwork ends up getting a kill, not costing him his own life. And they're gonna try and take some real estate with this one here, Kips, as they move top for the tier 2 tower.
That is, I mean, the recovery of this clock has been absolutely beautiful. His lane was difficult. He couldn't land a single good hook shot after. He was constantly getting killed. And then he got this force staff. He started surviving the initiations while being forced out, of course. And by now, his team has a follow-up to actually go in after him. And he's not even dying anymore. He's going to buy an Aghanim Scepter pretty much the next 2 minutes.
Gonna have the overclocking, the clockwork will be great. Let's see what he can accomplish in this upcoming fight though, because they are gonna smoke, it seems like. He has the hook available again. They don't have the best vision right now, so their target selection is a little bit limited. They will find in the river though, a Tiny does have blink, so I don't think he gets caught by this one. And they all are TPing out. They scouted out that this movement is coming, and they will all escape. Okay, good stuff coming in from TK, face checking, denying them that particular smoke move. And because there's still a tier 1 tower, it's not like they can wrap into the tier 2 either. Still a lot of deep pushing that needs to be done by Zone to threaten this bottom lane effectively.
And now we're getting into that portion of the game where your wave clear starts being more important because the towers are down. The towers got down very late this game. So that's an advantage to Saiyan. They have the vision advantage because of the clockwork. Which is also important because Aries at this point actually need to have a really good initiation to get a win fight. Take one of these cores down, or maybe the Winter Wyvern. It's hard to say exactly what their ideal opening for a fight is.
It's hard to get there as well, right? Because they still don't have any kind of reach from the Brewmaster. He doesn't have a blink or anything. There's no guarantee that him utilizing the Brewmaster split finds effective targets at the back of the fight. Their BKB usage has been so good from Saiyan, and their target selection's been pretty on point as well. So need to do something special from the side of Aster.Aries if they do want to win out this next fight. And they're going to try to do something special with the smoke. TK, he's going to be the one, I imagine, leading the charge. No big items that they want to reveal in this situation outside of the Abyssal Blade. So if they can catch them off guard, some Blink Abyssal Stun into the Unstable Concoction, that's a pretty significant piece of lockdown. They just need to be able to get there in one piece though.
And I'd love for this AA to finally get a multi-hero ult off, because every single time he's been caught and has had to use his ult on a very limited selection of heroes, and I do think that that's been one of the problems as well. One of the reasons why they've been allowed to just wait with their BKBs is if you hit a 5-man AA ult, there's no way Saiyan can actually get out of that without popping all 3 BKBs at once, but they just never had to.
The fight might be brewing here in this midday. All 10 heroes are gathered around this area. They understand Roshan is about to respawn. So when the big man comes back online, he's getting away an Aghanim shot now, and they do not want to give it to any of the opposite lineups. They could really use it on the side of Team Saiyan. Getting a Bloodseeker with an Aegis at this stage would be so good. And they realize this. They finished the Skadi, so here we go. I want to try and do this wraparound. It was very successful for them last time around. They managed to get several kills off the back of this. We'll see if their fortune will be repeated. As Clockwork with the spider legs going up onto the high ground. MS is blocking him, but he's yelling at him. He's saying, hey man, get out the way. I'm trying to make this initiation. I'm trying to make this jump. Zone will break the smoke.
AA again?
Oh, but AA got out. It's fine. He's got 4 stars.
Yeah, just like a little close. I wasn't scared.
It's fine. It's all fine. It's all okay.
Like I am definitely rooting for like a Red Panda redemption story after I think he's been doing really well this season, right? But this game's not been it so far.
I imagine that they also came into this one somewhat thinking of themselves as the favorite team, right? They demolished Team Saiyan at every opportunity. Oh, not Team Saiyan, but some of these players on Team Saiyan were on the old what is that squad's name? It was SAG, yeah, last season. And Aster.Aries on their come up to Div 1 were able to beat them quite handedly. So I'm sure they felt, we've got this, boys. But here they are struggling against these teams. It's still, though, game number 1. They haven't lost any unrecoverable real estate. Still got 2 tier 2 towers. Still have everything on the high ground. And they haven't yet given up this Roche. But they are aware that their lead is not where it's supposed to be, especially with an Alchemist lineup.
Yeah, and I think the reason that they haven't been able to find any good fights with this AA is because they don't have any way to force Saiyan to clump.
Yeah. I mean, we often see AA paired with like Hawks, these sort of heroes that just make it impossible for you to move around. Certainly not the case in this game. How many smokes? Okay, we should have actually kept a smoke counter for how many of these happened in this game and how many of them were actually effective. Because literally both of these teams just smoked up within 2 minutes of each other, and neither of them finding any initiation. LWW though might have gone a bit too far forward though. Hookshot coming in onto the Tiny. Shang-Chi has gotten off the Brewmaster split, but Razor is in on the Winter Wyvern. This Wyvern is gone, buys back immediately though. Doesn't want to let this fight go in this direction. Brewmaster split will end relatively shortly, but he has a second one and he has Refresher, so we're going to have plenty of these. Unfortunately though, yet again, this is Ghost being utilized here by Son Goku. So once these are down, a massive team fight opportunity is going to be going away. And Team Saiyan also going to try and just force the Roshan while they still have a couple seconds remaining of Ghosts. And it doesn't seem like Aster.Aries has responded in time. They're coming in now though, being aware of what's going on. Shang-Chi trying to get off his ultimate, won't be able to do so. Clockwork interrupts him. Can they kill Shang-Chi in time? Yes, they can. Oh my goodness, Red Panda also dead as well. LWW, he brought back, utilizing his Winter's Curse onto TK, turning this into a double kill for Zone. 3 heroes brought down overall for Team Saiyan, and they're gonna get the big man as Roche will fall into their hands with an Aegis and a Shard. Everything just starting to go way better for Team Saiyan. And that wasn't even them starting that fight, that was them forcing a Roshan. And Aster.Aries took the bait. They couldn't let it go for free, but unfortunately they didn't get off the Brewmaster split in time, so they just walk into a trap. That should not have gone that way, Kips. That should not have gone that way.
No, and the Brewmaster did it right the previous time, because there's so many silences on the other team, right? He popped it immediately, walked in. Sure, they didn't get anything out of the first half of that fight except for the Wyvern kill, but that was the way to do it on the second one as well, and they were too preoccupied with the Roche to just preemptively pop the Brew ult, and now you pay the price.
It's not, to be fair, could be worse. They're just giving up this Aegis. Is Aries easier to die? No hook to connect onto him. It's just a tier 2 tower and a Roche. It hurts, it's very painful, but it's still recoverable. What isn't recoverable though is the fact that you're enjoying a 6k gold lead on the side of Team Saiyan, even though you're playing into an Alchemist lineup. Ember's really high up there, DP's catching up to the mid Razor. And unfortunately, Shang-Chi has just made 0 progression on this Brewmaster. Really been struggling to have his presence felt in these fights.
Yeah. And the same goes for the Razor, right? Because after he got his SNY, he still went in for a casual plate mail, not trusting enough in the Alchemist's aura armor. I can see that, to be fair. But then maybe the SNK wasn't the right idea, just casual plate mail into the Refresher, as then he built a Lincoln Sphere on top, and now we still don't have a Refresher on the Razor because he's saving for buyback. And that's a lot of damage and teamfight presence missing, and I think part of it is just because Saiyan has been focusing him down so much. Ooh, there goes my voice. Ooh, that's not a good sign if I have to cast 3 more series today.
Isn't it only 2 that today? The 2 okay.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to Europe.
Oh yeah, busy lady.
I get some DK tournament. I think I'm not even going to Europe. I think I'm getting Navi Pari.
Ooh. Get to watch the Navi boys. You know, that was my first like Dota2 team.
Same.
I idolized Navi for so long. There's a funny story though. So it's like there's this convention, sort of like a Comic-Con thing, that happens here every year. And Dendi was supposed to come the year that they came second at TI, 2013. And I was super excited. Oh my god, I'm gonna get to meet Dendi. It's gonna be so cool. And I remember at the time I was working a retail job at the bookstore, and I took off work just to make sure that I could spend as many days with Dendi as possible, because I think he was supposed to come on the Friday. And while I was on the way there, they announced, oh, Dendi had to cancel, and I was so sad.
Aww.
I was like, man, Navi sucks. Worst team ever. Washed.
Yeah, you tore up your hoodie, set it on fire.
Ooh, big Winter's Curse onto 2 here. TK is the one that gets caught inside it, but Ulu's right next to him. Can they find the necessary lockdown to kill him as well? They've already brought down TK. Ulu now chasing back onto MS. Big ice block flying forward, but Ulu's a bit too strong. He burst down this Bloodseeker, but Bloodseeker will have BKB on life number 2. There's gonna be Refresher pop. He's forgone buyback to go for this, but now this might be a mistake because MS can chase him down with his own BKB. Get the kill, make that a straight up situation where there's no buyback for the Razor. Ancient Apparition will buy back. Ulu does get away from the steering chains from Zone. They can't get the full catch there. LWW in the corner of the trees, right next to these Brewlings. They should be able to kill the Winter Wyvern, so that's going to end up happening. 2 for 1 ends up being the situation. Does require a buyback out of Aster.Aries. And Team Saiyan, they lose the Aegis, but they kill this Razor without buyback in a very crucial fight in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that was him getting killed through Refresher, and I guess that's the illustration of why he felt that he had to build so defensive in order to get the Refresher off. And he still dies.
Yeah.
He's still dies. This Bloodseeker just eats him for breakfast. And they certainly cannot allow themselves to get engaged upon like that. Like, even if they get to pop the Aegis there, the fact that Ulu is in so deep needs to pop that Abyssal without an ability to actually burst anybody afterwards, because his team can't come back him up. The AA ult gets completely wasted again. I think they're in a hole, and I'm not sure how they're going to get out of that, because not only are you not supposed to be behind on Alchemist, you're supposed to have finished the game by now. Because sure, money is an advantage as long as you have more slots open than the other guy, but we're going 50-50 here. Ulu's running out of inventory space.
He might be running out of life as well now in the top lane as Ulu gets ran down by MS. The right-click damage is way too significant. TK trying to TP out will not be allowed to do so because Zone is there with the DD rune as well as the big jump from the Ember. That's going to be a heads-up kill. And Team Saiyan, with Ulu now removed from play, they find themselves with a straight path to the high ground. They might not have the Aegis, but at the very least, they could try and force an Alchemist buyback if he has one, and indeed he does.
The rough part is, like in any other game, maybe you could have like TP'd out there on Alchemist, just BKB TP, but there's a clock in the game with an Ags. Like, he had to stand his ground and fight.
Yeah. Clockwork. We mentioned it earlier, his recovery in this game has just been phenomenal. He's done his job above and beyond his duties. Not only has he bullied Red Panda out of existence, but now he's starting to make life extremely hard for all of these cores as well. Hookshot will connect onto the Razor. Just trying to make sure that they have enough distance for this fight. They force out the first Brewmaster split. Son Goku with Ghost active and going. They did some damage onto the tier 3 tower. Code Embrace will get denied by the Ice Blast, but it only connects onto one yet again. MS now trying to clean up some of these Brewlings, so they're forcing back Shang-Chi, Son Goku, letting the last couple of Ghosts siege the tier 3. They pop this glyph, but it's still not going to save the tower itself. Not even going to dissuade them from this area. Now they know that the glyph is down, so they can come back when they feel ready to do this again. And that's not going to take too long here, Kips, because Son Goku just picked up a refresher as well.
Yeah, he can pop it straight if he wants to. I don't think so. You're just going to take your time here. And maybe that is the key to this entire game, because you said that Saiyan has had trouble after the laning stage, like in that sort of mid-game gap.
Yeah.
They don't know exactly what to do, but you know what? Aster.Aries didn't really end up pressuring them all that much. They didn't have good ways to force fights apart from the Tiny Blink, and Saiyan just dodged the Tiny Blinks and said, like, all right, if we take this late game, we're going to win it. And then you don't really have to make any calls apart from defensive ones. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why Aster.Aries just gave him too much time.
TK gonna try and reverse that trend though. We'll find a big blink onto Son Goku, but unfortunately there's an immediate BKB. Ulu can't throw up the concoction of his own. Will be forced to use BKB instead, but he's surrounded by several cores right now. He's getting chased away. His BKB is up. His life is forfeit. Razor gonna try and look for vengeance, running forward with Shang-Chi. They have the double Eye of the Storm going. MS is in danger here, tanking quite a bit of damage, but do they have the capability to kill him? LWW creating space and time with the Winter's Curse here, but it's still not gonna be good enough. Razor able to walk down onto MS, getting a double by killing the Clockwork as well. Will still die though at the end of the day to Son Goku. However, what else can Team Saiyan find in this fight? They will be able to find TK almost immediately. Shang-Chi, Brewmaster, will he get out of this safely? He does have the Panda very far away with the Flame one, so he's fine on that side of the fight. An expensive fight here. They get the kill onto MS to be sure, but it costs 4 heroes. That's a buyback on Ulu as well to make that happen. Certainly not a cheap situation, and it happens fairly far away from the base, so once they feel ready again, Team Saiyan can still come back into this. Not going to be dissuaded from playing on the map because all of these kills are still on Dire side. Aster.Aries still in a very defensive position off the back of that fight.
And with no blink on his Brewmaster and the Tiny Dead, there's no initiation as well, so Son Goku could just walk up. But, you know, the reason why I, as a commentator, really liked that fight was because that was a perfect illustration of why Saiyan has been putting all of the hate on this Razor immediately. Because they need to get him out before that minus armor starts stacking up. Because they did not get to take him down that fight. And you see that the Bloodseeker, who's looked absolutely indomitable all game, that was his first death. And he melted because the Razor actually got to build. And that's the risk it still says, oh, first 4-man ult, nothing to follow up with.
Well, Roshan ends up being given away. There was an Ags that it was carrying, which Zone will very happily pick up. So Ember Spirit now has Ags and the shot available for himself. Hook shot finding Shang-Chi yet again. They don't want to actually go on to this fight though. LWW does have the curse, but they don't have MS nearby. You need the dual silences. Well, they might need a nullifier even because of this Aeon disc, so they're just happy that they got to trigger it though, so he's not going to be very happy about that on the Shang-Chi, but whatever, it's fine. Bottom lane. Looks like they were trying to find TK, and they're going to be able to catch him. Will they? Goes in invis with the Shadow Blade. They don't have detection here from LWW. I cannot believe he got away with this, but he has done. Just walking around, running circles on top of him. And he's still going to maintain that. He got a little bit lucky that the duration ends after MS passes him by, but he ends up being able to survive nonetheless. So we're in a bit of a stale position here, Kips. Talk to me about how do Aries defend this high ground push, because it is coming to the top lane. Son Goku's nearby with BKB, Refresher, Ghost at the ready. I think they just want to bring in this top wave, and then they're going to try and find an entrance into the base. What do you do to try to defend this on the side of Aster.Aries?
Your Brewmaster needs to be in the back, popping his ults where you can't get reached. But the problem with that is that you kind of also want your Razor to start off the fight in the back, so they at the very least have to over-engage on him. He does have a buyback this time, though. So, okay, to workshop this, I think you should bait with your Razor. Get them to commit a couple of spells, kill him, they over-engage into the base, you bring the Razor back, pop everything.
Okay. So sort of like some of these Spectre plays you sometimes see when she has BKB and buyback. So, lane though, TK is going to be the one that they open on. That's a hero, it's not a Razor though. That's a Tiny will end up dead. Does have buyback though, so can return to the fray if needed. But Razor will make the decision to forego buyback and instead opt for getting the full Satanic instead. What's your feeling on this one? It does mean that our workshop plan can't really come to fruition, but makes them slightly tankier, and now you at the very least have some kind of lifesteal in these fights. Is this what they needed though, given how close they are to losing the game?
It's the same kind of function. Like, buyback or stand in front and actually live. Blink dagger on DB, love that.
Yeah.
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Like if they don't want to engage, it's good. Yeah.
Ulu, there's the Abyssal Blade. They're going on to DP. She doesn't have an agent, but she does still get off the BKB. He's still alive and fighting for now. Cold Embrace will buy time, but Ulu gonna be able to chomp through her with the help of the Razor. They've been able to bring down the DP. MS just TPing out to safety. Zone hiding in the trees. And Wolf has hired long enough to be able to get out to safety. Everybody else just trying to beat the Delta split right now. LWW, he's the one carrying a gem, so they do not see him. You need to be careful. The Shadow Blade will end soon. And I can't believe I had to say those words. Shadow Blade, Winter Wyvern. He's out here, though, making it work.
It is not that unusual. In a game where your survivability is really just down to do they find you or not, you usually see a Shadow Blade over other defensive items or like Aeon Disc, for example. They don't really have enough vision for him, so yeah, SB, I like it. I've seen it on Skywrath Mage before. How do you like that?
Skywrath.
Skywrath SB.
Please tell me that he went into Silver Edge being like, I've got a high end game voice. I'm gonna right click Skywrath now.
No.
It's here in the river. They catch out Red Panda. Ulu does throw out a concoction onto this Ember Spirit, so Zone not in the most comfortable position. Could potentially still get jumped on by this Alchemist. Not gonna end up being the case though. Still fine. It's just gonna be the one pick off onto this young Red Panda Ancient Apparition. Will respawn in due time, so it's not that big of a deal.
And the Razor remains the key to these fights, I think. And That's why Saiyan is waiting until the Death Prophet is back now. They need somebody to siege, to move up, get the vision, and then hopefully they can burst his Razor without his Satanic getting in the way. But it's gonna be rough.
Let's see, Goku. Back online, he's the siege engine. They did do a magnificent job of preventing them from getting the melee racks, especially. They got the range fairly low, but without getting the melee, it's still okay here for Aster.Aries. They still haven't given up any massive thing. Well, they've given up all map control, they've given up all the experience, they've given up a ton of farm. 33k gold lead in favor of Team Saiyan, but the game is still possible. That's the important thing for them right now.
You get to get that Razor up to speed and then lock a bunch of Saiyan's heroes down, but Saiyan need to overcommit, because otherwise they just walk it off. We've seen that time and time again, that Saiyan just gets to Delta split and walk away, and maybe they lose another support on the way out, but that's fine as long as 2 cores live. Not a problem.
It's not that big a Clockwork getting jumped on here. There's the avalanche coming in from the Tiny. They're just gonna force him to eat a cheese. Still alive for now. Shang-Chi forcing him away, and he jetpacks out. He's okay. Everyone just wasting each other's time basically here. I think they're all aware that there's not a real fight that's gonna be happening, but MS is trying to sneak in onto the backlines. Running in with this Ninja Gear smoke. Will be able to find this rupture onto Red Panda. Will Red Panda die? You bet he will, because Zone is there with a Daedalus available on the Ember Spirit to cleave him down. He's sitting on 9.5k gold, and there's an amazing curse on the 3 heroes. Ulu and Yi both caught inside this one. TK first one to fall. Ulu, he's certainly gonna be not long for this world. He ends up losing his life. Aster.Aries, they might be now reliant on this Razor, but the Razor is also about to die. Both of those heroes dead for 100 seconds plus. There is buyback available, but my goodness, they did not want this outcome to be how this fight went. And they've lost 2 cores here, and Shang-Chi yet again couldn't really apply too much pressure with the Brewmaster.
Yeah, they're just too tanky. That's a refresh, another ult, but what's it gonna do? Like, this Razor isn't even buying back because he doesn't have an ult yet. It doesn't matter. Gonna go now, but
oof, they're coming at the same time
they're
here.
not even over-engaged.
Ulu jumping in, but he's gonna find himself jumping directly onto MS, who's gonna try right-clicking back, but MS gets stunned up. The Abyssal Blade with Red Panda throwing in the Ice Blast. They finally got him down. Ulu needs to make more happen though, and instead he's gonna end up dying back in the situation. And now Team Saiyan are also throwing lives at the story. Zone inside of the base right now, zoning back both Red Panda as well as Yi. Yi gets hooked in by the Clockwork, prevented from moving around, and here's the brought back Bloodseeker, looking for vengeance. Might have killed me once, my friend, but can you do it twice? Doesn't seem like it. You're just going to be forced to run away. Zone is on cleanup duty on the back end of the fight. There's the silence onto the Brewmaster. No more Aeon Dust to protect him. No more HP to protect him. And they throw in the towel on the side of Aster.Aries. They call GG, well played. As Team Saiyan grab this game by the scruff of the neck and take the surprise victory here in game number 1.
Yeah, and this is also, apart from my criticism of Aster.Aries maybe taking it a little bit too easy, this is not a throw by any means.